There's a difference between finding someone attractive and finding them absolutely irresistible. Attraction might turn heads, but irresistibility captures hearts, minds, and attention in a way that's almost magnetic. It's not just about appearance. It's about the way you move through the world, the energy you carry, and the effect you have on those around you. When you're irresistible to someone, you occupy their thoughts without even trying. You influence their emotions without speaking a word, and you become the standard they can't seem to forget. This isn't a matter of charm alone. It's a deeper connection that bypasses logic and speaks directly to something primal. And when you recognize the signs, you'll understand just how powerful your presence really is. When someone finds you irresistible, their attention toward you is never casual. It's not something they can simply turn off when they want to, because it isn't controlled by surface level attraction. It's driven by a deeper pull. You'll notice it first in the way they watch you, not just with their eyes, but with their whole presence. When you enter the room, there's a shift in their focus. They might be talking to someone else, engaged in another task, or lost in their own thoughts. But the moment you appear, something changes. Their body reorients toward you, often unconsciously. Their feet point in your direction. Their shoulders turn. Their eyes, even if they try to hide it, flicker toward you with a kind of quiet urgency. They may try to play it off, pretend they're only glancing your way for a moment. But if you pay attention, you'll see it's not just once. It's a pattern. This kind of attention doesn't just happen by accident. It's instinctive. Their mind is scanning the environment, and you've become the most important detail in it. The reason this is so telling is because attention is one of the most valuable resources we have. We live in a world that constantly demands it, phones, conversations, obligations, yet despite all that, their focus seems to drift toward you without them even realizing it. That tells you something powerful. You are occupying mental space they aren't consciously offering to just anyone. Another sign is in the way they remember the smallest details about you. You might mention something casually, a childhood memory, a song you love, an offhand comment about your favorite coffee, and weeks later, they bring it up as if it's important. This isn't normal small talk recall. It's a reflection of emotional investment. When someone is deeply drawn to you, they're cataloging little parts of you, not as a deliberate act, but because their brain treats those pieces of information as valuable. It's the same way we remember the lyrics of a song we can't stop listening to. It sticks because it matters. You'll also see it in their willingness to adjust for you, not in grand gestures, though those may come later, but in subtle, everyday decisions. Maybe they choose to sit closer to you when there are plenty of other seats available. Maybe they change their schedule slightly to match yours, without making a big deal of it. Maybe they offer help in situations where you didn't even ask. These shifts aren't random. Then they're the result of someone's internal compass pointing toward you. Even if they never say it out loud, their actions reveal that you are a priority, consciously or not. And then there's the element of openness they show you. Irresistibility doesn't just pull people toward you. It disarms them. A person who's normally guarded might find themselves sharing more than they expected. Their walls lower, sometimes subtly, sometimes dramatically, because your presence feels like a place where they don't need to protect themselves as much. They may tell you about challenges they're facing in dreams they've been holding on to or fears they haven't admitted to others. This is not casual vulnerability. It's a signal that they feel something in you that's rare, something that invites trust without demanding it. Physical cues also speak volumes here. There's a distinct difference between polite social interaction and the physical awareness that comes from deep attraction. They might lean in closer when you speak, hold eye contact just a little longer than necessary, or mirror your gestures unconsciously. These things might seem small in isolation, but together they create a clear picture. The human body is a poor liar when it comes to attraction. Our subconscious communicates long before our words do. Another key element is how they react when you give your attention to someone else. Even if they hide it well, there's a subtle tension that appears when they see you engaging deeply with others. It's not necessarily jealousy in the dramatic sense, but a flicker of protectiveness or unease. Because to them, you're not just another person in the room. You're someone whose attention feels rare and precious, and when it's directed elsewhere, they feel the absence keenly. All of this comes down to one truth. When you are irresistible to someone, their behavior changes in ways they often don't even notice themselves. It's not about them deciding to show you extra attention. It's about them being unable not to. Their focus gravitates toward you like a magnet. Their mind stores away pieces of you without effort, and their actions shift to make space for you in their life. It's a combination of instinct, emotion, and something they probably couldn't explain even if they tried. And if you can see it clearly, it becomes impossible to ignore. Another unmistakable sign that you're not just attractive, but truly irresistible is the way they begin to adapt themselves around you, not in a forced or performative way, but in a way that seems almost unconscious. People naturally adjust their behavior to fit in or to be polite, but this is something deeper. It's the kind of change that happens when someone wants to be their best self in your presence. You'll notice it in subtle ways first. They might straighten their posture when you walk in, adjust their tone of voice, or become more careful about the words they choose. These aren't the actions of someone trying to impress in a calculated way. Their reflex is born from the desire to be seen in the most favorable light by the one person whose opinion matters to them the most. Yours. Watch how their habits shift. If you've ever casually mentioned a preference, maybe that you enjoy long walks in the evening, or that you admire people who read often, you might notice them suddenly embracing those habits, not as a direct copy, but as a way of closing the gap between your worlds. If you talk about a certain book, they may just happen to start reading it. If you mention a style of music you love, you might catch them humming one of those songs a few days later. These are not coincidences. They are quiet acts of alignment. People who feel drawn to you on a deep level instinctively look for ways to create common ground, because every shared experience becomes another thread in the bond they're weaving with you. And then there's the way they begin to soften in areas where they might normally be rigid. If someone is usually stubborn or guarded, irresistible attraction has a way of bending those edges. They'll be more open to your suggestions, more willing to compromise and more patient with situations that might frustrate them otherwise. This flexibility is a silent form of investment. They're telling you, without saying a word, that your happiness is worth adjusting for. It's as if your presence rewrites their rules, not because they're trying to impress you in the short term, but because your influence genuinely shifts what they value. You'll also notice they start anticipating your needs without you having to voice them. Maybe you're cold, and they instinctively offer their jacket before you say a thing. Maybe you're carrying something heavy, and they're already there to take part of the weight. It might be as simple as remembering how you take your coffee and having it ready before you even arrive. These moments are small, but they're powerful. They reveal an attentiveness that goes beyond surface level attraction. When someone is irresistibly drawn to you, they aren't just reacting to you, they're thinking ahead, looking for ways to make your experience a little easier, a little brighter, a little warmer. Their language also starts to shift in subtle ways. You may hear them use words or phrases you've used before, almost as if your speech patterns are slipping into their vocabulary. This kind of mirroring is unconscious and deeply human. We do it when we feel emotionally connected to someone as a way of closing emotional distance. And when that connection is powered by strong attraction, this mimicry becomes almost inevitable. It's their way of saying we are alike, even if they never consciously think about it that way. Beyond the changes in behavior, there's a change in energy. You might notice that they seem more alive, more animated, more present when they're around you. Their voice carries a different tone, their laughter comes easier, and their eyes light up more often. This isn't something you can fake for long. It's a genuine shift in emotional state that happens because being in your presence triggers a natural high. In a very real sense, you've become a source of joy for them, and that joy reshapes the way they carry themselves in your company. Interestingly, this kind of attraction also pushes people to confront parts of themselves they might have ignored before. They might start working on personal goals they've been avoiding, from fitness to career ambitions, because your presence acts as a motivator. It's not that they feel pressured to change, it's that being around you inspires them to want more for themselves. You've become a catalyst for growth, and that is one of the clearest signs of deep magnetic connection. Another important detail is how they handle your boundaries. When someone is merely attracted to you, they might push too hard or try to force closeness. But when someone finds you truly irresistible, they tend to show more respect for your space. It's a paradox. They want to be close to you, yet they're careful not to jeopardize the connection by overstepping. This restraint is a sign of value. They know, whether consciously or not, that your presence in their life is too important to risk through impatience or carelessness. The truth is these adaptations are not about pretending or putting on a mask. They're about revealing a version of themselves that is truer, better, and more open because you're in their orbit. They might not even realize they're doing it, but their every small adjustment tells the same story. You matter to them in a way that changes their behavior, their mindset, and even their sense of who they are. And if you've ever experienced this level of pull from another person, it's not just about being wanted, it's about being valued in a way that subtly but profoundly shifts the rhythm of someone's life. Their world doesn't just make space for you, it starts to shape itself around you. That's the difference between being attractive and being irresistible. One draws someone's attention for a moment. The other reshapes their focus entirely. Another sign that you are not just attractive, but truly irresistible to someone is the way their attention naturally gravitates toward you, regardless of what else is happening around them. In a world full of distractions, constant notifications, competing conversations, the pull of countless obligations, someone who feels a deep and magnetic pull toward you will seem immune to those diversions when you're near. It's as though the rest of the room fades and their focus sharpens exclusively on you. This isn't about them staring at you constantly in some obvious or uncomfortable way. It's subtler, more telling. It's in how their body turns toward you, how they lean in when you speak, how their eyes instinctively find yours even in a crowd. Their attention becomes a kind of gravity, One that's centered entirely on you. You can see it in how they listen. Most people listen to reply. Someone who finds you irresistible listens to understand thing. There's a difference between hearing your words and absorbing them. They remember details you've mentioned in passing something. Sometimes things you barely remember saying yourself. They might recall the exact way you described a dream you had, or the specific type of tea you enjoy thing, or the name of a childhood pet thing. This level of attentiveness doesn't happen because they're trying to impress you. It happens because their mind naturally prioritizes you. Your words are not just heard, they're stored, replayed, and revisited. You might notice when you speak, they pause whatever they're doing thing. The phone gets put down, the half-written email waits, and the conversation they were having with someone else stops mid-sentence thing. Their reactions are almost instinctive. You've become the signal that overrides all other noise. Something, and that's not something you can fake for long, it's an honest reflection of where their emotional energy is directed. Another layer to this is how they start to notice your moods, even when you try to hide them. You may think you're masking your emotions well, but someone who is deeply tuned into you can pick up on subtle cues, the change in your tone, the hesitation in your words, the shift in your expression. It's as if they've developed a private language for reading you, one that no one else quite speaks. They can sense when something is off, even when you insist everything is fine, and they often know when you're happy before you've said a word. This sensitivity comes from their constant quiet observation you, a habit they've formed not out of suspicion, but out of genuine care. Physical presence plays a role here too. People who are truly drawn to you tend to close the physical gap without realizing it. They'll stand or sit closer than they would with others. Even in settings where space is plentiful, when you walk into a room, they may subtly position themselves within your line of sight, and almost as if proximity to you is something they seek without thinking. Even their movements begin to sync with yours. They walk at your pace, turn when you turn, match their rhythm to yours in a way that creates an unspoken harmony. Their attention is also expressed in how they prioritize you, even in situations that demand their focus elsewhere. Imagine being in a group where multiple conversations are happening at once. You'll notice that they always seem to be aware of where you are, what you're doing, and how you're feeling. If you laugh across the room, they might glance over without realizing it. If you step outside, they might follow after a few minutes, not because they feel obligated, but because some part of them is wired to seek your company. This kind of focus often extends beyond physical interaction. Even when you're not together, they remember to check in, send a quick message, or share something that reminded them of you. It's not the frequency of communication that matters most, but the consistency of it, the way you are never far from their thoughts. They might send you a photo of something you once said you liked, or forward a song you'd appreciate, or recall a story you told and bring it up days later. These gestures might seem small, but they are powerful markers of where someone's mind is anchored. You may also notice they bring you into their world through shared experiences. When they experience something new, watch a film, read an article, hear a piece of music, they think of your reaction. They might say, "This made me think of you," or "You'd love this." This isn't about trying to impress you with common ground. It's about how your presence has become a filter through which they experience life. They want you to be part of the things they enjoy, not because they have to, but because those moments feel incomplete without your involvement. Eye contact plays a subtle but important role here as well. When someone finds you irresistible, Their gaze lingers just a fraction longer than it would with anyone else.